Hi, this is Jeremy at 1LD, and this is a video tutorial for cleanLists, our responsive pricing table and listing stack used in RapidWeaver 5 Plus, Stacks 2.0 Plus, and also has some added functionality or cooperates best when used with our cleanResponse stack. So let me pull up the site that demos it. If you've purchased cleanLists, you've probably seen this page and purchased at least the cleanList stack right here, which is all we'll need, but I'm going to be demoing it with cleanResponse as it gives a little more eye-catching responsiveness when using columns, such as you see right here. So let's go in and I'm going to begin to create everything that you see in this pricing table. So first, I am going to drag and drop 4 columns, just like we have. This is cleanResponse. cleanResponse actually copies these first 5 columns that you receive when you buy stacks. It recreates them with these new icons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, being the amount of columns that exist in each one, but adds the responsiveness to them. So now I'm going to begin to, I'm going to just start by dragging a clean list into each one of them. And I'm done. cleanLists comes with the built-in ability to change the sections according to type. And I'll go back to the demo. So this top would be a heading, these would be list items, and the bottom would be buttons. By default, it's going to be set to list item, as that's what you'll do most of the time. Though in this instance, let's make it a header, and we'll call this cleanLists. And then the second header we had was cleanLists plus response. And let's look the whole site, and then the Chimera theme. So we'll go this whole site, and then Chimera theme. And we're going to make each of these sections header sections. Now we're going to need some more clean lists, so we're going to literally just drag them right below each of the headers. And we're going to leave these as list items. So I'm going to go get some quick code real fast over on a lorem ipsum generator. I'm just going to drag and drop some of this. If you want to use this site, it's html-ipsum.com. It just lets you do some copy and paste lorem ipsum text, which is just filler text that helps us show things for display. It's not really supposed to mean anything. So I'm going to place all that there. And actually, for best practices, always remember to highlight and hit Command period, which ignores formatting. The formatting can sometimes have a negative effect on certain HTML, but that's usually only when quotation marks are being used, which isn't being used. But as a best practice, I always recommend it. We've now created each of our sections. If you remember on the page, though, there was actually a lot more than just 3 bullet items, and you'll notice that these icons on the side actually change depending on how much I want to display. And I'm going to show how to do that. The first one had 3 and then 3 more. This one had 4 and then these 2 with the X's. This had all 6 as check marks, and this one had all these as X marks with the Chimera theme is the only one checked. So remembering that, I can go in here and just duplicate that section. I just copied and pasted it. This will be the first 3 right here, second 3 right here. This one had 4 though, so that had check marks. So let me copy one of my list items and place it, and then let me click out, and I'm going to copy and paste that section. Only I'm going to remove the first 2 this time and leave the second 2. And then the third one right here, remember it had all 6 were checked. So let's Copy and paste those. So now it has all 6. And then the last one had, oh, I'm sorry, I switched those around. That's the third one. We'll just copy all the list items there. Okay, that one has 6. And then the Chimera theme had 1 missing, and then that was the check mark. So we'll copy and paste that section, and we'll leave 1 in it. Okay, so I have the basics set up with the information. So now what I want to do is I'm going to make the icons different from checkboxes and X's. I'm actually going to refer to the home page for this because it's a little quicker, as I can go back and see that the check mark was using modern pix and used the percentage symbol, where the X boxes were using modern pix using an uppercase X. So in my example page that we're building right now, these will use modern pix and they'll have the percentage symbol. These are going to use modern pix and use the X symbol. And so now I just need to go through and do these for all my list item sections that I want to display in that way. So this will only take a second. Now these ones are all X's with 1 check mark. And that was percentage. All right. Now let's go demo the page. It's going to look really broken at this point, but I want you to see it before I do some changes here in a second. And it's loading. Okay, so we can see the basic structure. We have the basic layout just like we saw on the other home page. Only obviously if you see the scattered background colors are not lining up exactly how we want them, which I'll show you how to do in just a second. We have basic filler text, and we do have the symbols. All of those are working. We have the first 3 are checked, next 3 aren't. But if you notice, the icons are a little small, so we need to clean that up a little bit. So the next step, and also I forgot to point out, you'll notice the gutters between each of these columns are awkwardly spaced, where if you remember from the example, they're all touching together, which I think is a really nice effect, and that's pretty common for pricing tables. So let's remove the gutter, and then we're also going to try and fix this spacing issue. I want the first one to be highlighted, and then it going unhighlighted, highlighted, unhighlighted, highlighted. So that first one, I'm going to take that and I'm going to go Alt BG odd, which is a way of saying alternate background by default is set to every other. So it starts on the second one, then goes to the fourth one, and then sixth one. I'm going to make it even. And so I'll need to actually do that for each of the first ones if I want it to have that same effect throughout all of them. Now, because there's different amounts in different ones, this is going to display a little differently. So we need to go check and see. So for the first one, it's fine because it's going on, off, on, off, on, off. But this one, it's awkward. It goes on, off, off. So off twice, which is because of the way these sections are. So that bottom section needs to have it turned off. This one's fine all the way through, and so is this one. So really, this is the only one that needs to be corrected right now. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to turn that to odd, and voila, there it is. Everything is nice in the order I want it to. So the next step is let's remove the gutters between these. And that's actually not a feature that cleanList has, but this is cleanResponse. So I'm going to take this gutter width, and I'm going to decrease it to 0. Once I decrease it, now you'll notice all of them are touching. There's no gutter width. That is something you cannot control unless you're using cleanResponse, unless there's some other familiar stacks that I don't know of. Next, let's style the headers. Let me go back to this page. You notice they all kind of were slim, and then this one really popped up because this is the one I'm trying to draw the eyes to in the example. So, and it also has a nice orange background and some white lettering. So we'll go do that real quick. So I'm going to the header. I'm going to take the background, there it is, background color, and I already have this orange picked out right here, and I'm going to keep that orange. So I'm going to change that one. I'm going to change this one. Change this one, and we have one more left to go. And that's good. Another thing, oh that's right, we wanted to change the text color. I probably should have just done that all at once, but that's pretty easy, fortunately. And this one, I really wanted it to pop out more at the top. So with this, I'm going to control this padding right here. I know padding is actually something that is already built into stacks, and we didn't really need to incorporate here. But I thought it would be so commonly edited, I decided to add little sliders for it as well. So I'm going to take these from 5 to 20. I'm going to put 20 padding on the top. Oops. And 20 padding on the bottom. So that's going to make this one a lot larger. Another thing, and I'll turn this off, by default all of these are going to display in the center as headings, but I'll turn the first one off just as an example, and we'll turn it back on. I'm going to turn that off so that that heading does not go to the center. And you'll see it's harder to see with this one, but all of these are centered, where this one floats to the left. But like I said, we're going to turn that off. But you'll see this one's a lot bigger, but it doesn't really match the effect that we see here, which is why we have to edit the padding too. So first, I'll turn the centering back on, and now I'm going to take the ones that did not have this extra padding, and I'm going to tell them to be pushed down. In this, you will have to use the built-in section already built into stacks. And you'll say, I want custom margin. So you go detailed margin, and you go top. And let's just we'll just add 20 pixels for now. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Detailed top, 20. And for the very last one, detailed top, 20. Now let's go look at it. All right, that's not exactly, as you can see, we need to align things a little bit lower. So we'd probably have to add, I'm going to guess, around 7 or 8 more pixels to our padding so that things lined up perfectly, which we can do in a second. Another thing I wanted to do though is I wanted to make these buttons a little bigger. I mean, they're really small. So they use a web font, which is all the modern pics and web symbols. These are fonts where the square and the circle are actually CSS controlled, so they're just coding. But if you're using modern pics or web fonts, you can control the size of the icons under the well, actually you control them all here, but they're going to respond differently because the web fonts are font-based pixel sizes. Their sizing will be a lot different. Where when you're using the circle and square, your bullet size is going to be precisely that width and height. To the exact pixel with a 1 pixel border wrapping around it. So if you set it 10 pixels, you'd have 12 pixels wide, 12 pixels tall. So in this instance, I'm going to go for the font size of, let's just start with, 18 pixels. 18 pixels here. 18. And go all the way down and add 18 pixels to all the bullet sizes. Let's go look at how it displays. So much bigger, much clearer. In fact, I even think they look a little too close to the text. So I want to push that text over a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take text padding left, and I'm going to turn that up to, let's say 35. I just give it 10 more pixels of padding that should help add enough space between it and the icons. So let's do this real fast. last one. And then let's go check on how that looks. Much better. I have much more space between the icons. But if you remember on the demo, and I'll bring it up again, we had these check boxes. They were this nice green where the X's were nice looking red. And I kind of want to do that because green kind of conveys a more positive feeling and red a more negative. So I can come down here and I can choose my bullet. It's default set to black, and I can say I want it to be a green. Let's choose this green right here. And these were also green, so let's choose that same green. These would be green. And then the last one would actually only be the bottom one would be green. And then also let's do the X's. They're going to be red. I have a red chosen out right here. So I'm going to set those to red. I will set these to red. And I will set these to red. Alright, let's go look at everything. So the did I choose the right color? My green ones are clearly displaying, but I think I may have, oh yeah, see I put the bullet hover color as red. I was supposed to put this one. I'll demo it just for the heck of it. Let's make it hover white just so it can be very clearly displayed, and I'll just do that real quick because I don't want to keep it that way. So here they are, and if we hover they turn white, which actually now that I do it I kind of like it. So I'm going to go down and do that with the rest of mine as well. I'm going to turn those red and these white. And this is the last section. These red and this white. So now as I go through all of these, all the X's at least, they'll have that kind of cool effect that I like. So the last main part really is the buttons that go at the bottom. So I will cover the other parts of this as well, even some of the stuff we're not really using right here, but it's still very nifty to know. Let's go drag the buttons into all the sections first. And just for speed, just for time and everything, I'm just going to put buy now in each of them. And let me just copy that text actually, so I don't have to keep retyping it. And I'm going to change it to a button. And I'm also going to make these ones, button type is going to be, I'm going to make it soft. And this one, again, I'm going to say buy now. And I'm going to make it a button. Button type soft. And soft and simple, they're just two preset themes that I've built in. But you can use your own if you like. And button. And this one I'm going to call simple instead of soft, which I had demoed on the site. So these will be following the same button and soft. So we have three softs, one simple. You'll see it in a second. So here we get the simple ones, which kind of they have a gradient in them, but they can work very well in both light and dark themes. So you'll try it if you have a different colored backgrounds. You'll see that. And then we have this one as well, which you can control. You can control the colors of a custom button through here, as well as the simple button, not the soft one though, because the soft one uses transparencies. And you have all the colors for that right there. We're going to leave it on the defaults on this one, but I wanted to show you a couple more tricks I thought would be kind of nice. You can turn the alternating background completely off if you like. So I'm going to show you that. So now there's no alternating background that we see here. But let's say I go, you know that white background that's there? I don't really like that either. So you can actually turn that off as well. And I'll turn it off for all those just so you can see So now whatever the background is of the website, I don't have this white behind it. It just displays just like that. And let's say I didn't even want this hovering effect too. I can turn that off if I would like. Oh, and it won't matter for this one. And now I get no hovering effect, but I did leave the hovering colors on for these right here, which don't look as good anymore. So I'm going to come down and, where was it? Bullet. I'm going to say for this one, instead of bullet white, just leave it red. Maybe even make it go much darker. And I'll make this one also. I want to take the green, but then go much darker as well. So you can just barely see the effect right here. I've actually demoed this a little bit better in the More Examples page on the live site that you've seen, where I've gotten some social media buttons, and you can see only the social media buttons are highlighting. You can see I've customized them by color, which if you want to do that, you'll have to make them individual sections. So let me show you what this, because they have these unique icons, they're going to look different, where they're going to be their own clean list section, each one of them in the background, and you'd have to edit the colors that way. But it's still pretty quick and easy. So let me go back to this page, see where we left off. So finally, I'm not going to size things perfectly like you would have seen on our home page, but I did want to at least cover how, when you saw things here, how you see these borders right here. Well, this is actually already built into RapidWeaver as well, so I didn't need to implement it. You can, I'm not going to do it exactly because it did take a little while. And this video is already getting long. But how I did it was, for this section, I wanted a border on the right side, the top side, and the left side, but not the bottom. This one I wanted it on the right and the left, and this one on the right, left, and bottom. And the reason why I wanted to do that was so that, no, actually, it would be this example, so that it wouldn't show like right here, and it wouldn't show right here. It would only show on the edges of everything. You can do this with the same thing we did earlier, where I went border width, and I customized it to, top, no bottom, left, right, and the color I believe was this gray, or perhaps it was another gray, but we'll use this one, and I'll just show you this one individually. So you can't see it very good right here, but you can see it a little. It's not a stunning color, or it would pop out more. Let's just do a couple others so you can see it a little bit better. So we're going to go bottom, or right and left. We'll use the same gray. Again, right and left. Choose our gray. And for the bottom, we'll do bottom, right, and left, but no top, and we'll choose the same gray. And there you go. You can see the border that wraps around the whole box and keeps it all collected. Things that we didn't cover, I'll cover real quick. You can control the font size. You can control the header size of your font. You can even control the header tag that's going to wrap around it. By default, it's set to an H2. For your buttons, make sure you don't add the link using this link section, but actually place the URL in this button URL, because I have some presets built in. You can control the distance for the list item icon, or let me show you. For these icons, I tried to get them to where you'll want them most often, but if I hadn't put in those presets, they'd be about right here, a little different. And as you use different fonts or larger line spacing, you're going to want to have some control to move these where they appear centered or at the top line. So you can control that. The left will push it away from left to right, and the top will push it from top to bottom. You can control, let me show you this too. So since these are not links, I can control the whole section to be a hand or not. and I'll show you. I turned that one off. So you see how it's a hand right here. This is the default, but I turned it off here so it goes to arrow. So if you have no links in here, you may want to turn that off and make it an arrow. The only reason I have the option to make it by default a hand is that way, let's say the link is the text, no matter where they go in the whole area, it'll show the hand, and the URL will wrap around everything in the line. The rest are color controls, and they're fairly intuitive. So that about covers everything with cleanLists, and you got to see it as it functions most beautifully with cleanResponse.